All right, testing. Mic check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? No. Fucking dog got to bark as soon as we get going. I'm going to double check something with the sound real quick, and then we're going to get into it. Now, I never stream on Monday. It is Monday, right? I never stream on Monday. I usually stream... Well, I was streaming Sunday night, but I couldn't stream Sunday night. You guys let me know if you can hear me good and see me good. I do have to tweak something with the sound, but I did want to talk about the finale for the Daryl Dixon season 2. I wasn't really feeling it most of this season, to be honest. However, I think it was like 3 episodes back. Something happened that was so dumb, but I forget what it was. However, it was like incredibly dumb. And then we had something happen this episode that was so fucking stupid. It reminded me of why I just checked out of the last one. Now in this episode, what happened that was dumb, just to like get right to it so I don't forget, was the bad guys get to part of the good guy group, and they're like, oh, we're looking for Daryl and the boy, you know? And they're like, why? It's been days. Like, they already left on the plane. And the little chubby leader was like, we've been watching the skies. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you understand how incredibly dumb that is? You've been watching the skies? If you were close enough to see a patch of sky, to see a plane, you would know where the plane was to even take off. Imagine that. Like, out when I visit some family, near where they have a house, they do plane rides and stuff. And it's very similar to the plane that is in the Daryl Dixon show. And in that plane, when they take off from wherever they take off, which is close by, you can't see it, you can't hear it. And then when they get close enough and they let the glider go, you can see it temporarily. But then it's gone. Like, the fact that they are so dumb to think, excuse me, they're watching the skies in this vast area that could be anywhere is terrible. And then you got that other chick, which jumped out at me. That's another one where she gets eaten alive and she gets chewed up, right? And she's just standing there. I think she says something, and she just like lets go and falls back. But she has this stern look on her face. They did this type of shit in like Fear the Walking Dead and World Beyond, where people will be getting their face ripped off, and the actor is like, ouch, you know, or like barely emotes. It is terrible. Now, you know, the actors are trying to bring it, like Melissa McBride and Norman Reedus are really trying to bring it. They're trying to do this thing with Melissa and Sophia. They had something at the end of the episode where visually I love the visuals, you know? However, I and it's odd because I think one of the greatest scenes and moments in The Walking Dead is the Sophia reveal coming out of the barn. But for me, the way they're writing it, I have zero connection, zero care with, you know, Carol's story with this Sophia thing. I think I would have had a better time with it had they slowly done something and let it linger and simmer over a season or 2 of the Daryl show, and then, you know, cap it off. In this, it seemed more like they wanted something that'll emotionally resonate, and they wanted to like jam it in here and put it in, get it done and over with, and then call it a day. It's just, for me, it just wasn't hitting. But another thing, Carol jumping out of the plane. If you watch this, please tell me right now, did you honestly think Carol was going to leave Daryl? Did you honestly think that? Like, I don't know who they think they're fooling, especially when you see her and they stop and they're watching the gunfight. And from that moment on, they never show Carol in the plane. They only show Ash and then the kid behind Ash, Laurent, whatever his fucking name is. And you know the whole time, like, oh, Carol jumped out. They're not showing her. They're celebrating. They're not showing her. And then they pan over it, and it's so incredibly cringe because it's made to be like this dun-dun-dun reveal when you see it coming a mile away. First off, they have the character that has, and this is another trope that needs to die fast, a character that loses a child, right, and then takes on like a parental role. Now, it was done in The Last of Us in the video game, and it was done really well. It can be done, and it can be done well. But when they set this up with Ash, who has a child that died, and they have this thing with, with Carol and blah, 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 you know that Ash is going to end up with Laurent, and you know that Carol is going to team up with Daryl, and then they're going to spill over to season 3. If you didn't know that was popping off, I don't know, man. Maybe, I don't know. Same thing for Daryl's girlfriend. You know, like Carol comes back and they can't even overlap, you know. As soon as Carol shows up on the show, they're like, oh yeah, Carol's here. Hey, get rid of the girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not good enough to write overlapping stories. Fuck that. We could barely manage what we got. So let me pop out the chat real quick. Did I already pop it out? Oh shit. Oh, I did it from the wrong thing. All right, let me see. Season 3 is confirmed, and they already have a trailer. I believe they filmed them close to back or something like that. I forget if it was 1 and 2 was filmed back to back or 1, 2, and 3. I forget. But Season 3 is, from what I understand, filmed, or at least most of it, or half of it, I don't know. But they have a trailer for it already. What did I do with my knee? Ouch. So you can go watch the trailer on YouTube. It is confirmed. It is coming out in 2025. Yeah, season 1 was half decent, and season 2 erased everything just to shoehorn in Carol. And another thing is, like, I wasn't too connected to the Laurent storyline, and I still feel like, listen, I will stick by this. I feel like the writers did the usual Hollywood shit where they have a job and then they look and see what is similar that worked, and they just steal from that. Well, I made the connections with Laurent. Like, where did Laurent come from? Think about it. Daryl goes to France. Forget why he's even there, right? Forget about it. Because the actor wanted to film there, and I think he had something else going on there. But forget about it. They needed the character in France. Why would they team Daryl up with a young kid, even though he already has that storyline done, dusted, and back home? What came out recently that was popular? The Last of Us on HBO. Same thing, Joel and Ellie. The video game was really popular, Joel and Ellie. The show was really popular, Joel and Ellie. And this was in production, blowing up. Like, the hype was there. The hype was really there. So the Daryl show, there's no way I don't believe they were like, they didn't just go, ooh, you know, it worked well here. Let's jack that idea. There's no way, because there's too many similarities. There's way too... I think they even... If you go back and look at some of my old video, I think one of my old streams, there was like almost scene for scene, it was the same as The Last of Us. I firmly believe that's what they did. Laurent is in here because The Last of Us was hyped, and they believe that fans just love that type of story. I don't like the Laurent character. I don't like the religious aspect, not because I hate religion. I am not religious. However, I respect people that are religious. I have no problems with it. However, I find it uninteresting. I'm sick of religious villains. I'm sick of religious heroes. I'm sick of prophecies. I'm sick of faith. I'm sick of these people like just believe in the bite. It's not interesting. So I was tapped out almost from the beginning when you have all the religious themed. And then they carried it over into the second season in a really dumb way, because it primarily focused on Laurent being like the one to get bit and not turn, and how that is supposed to help the rest of the world moving forward. I don't know. But then you've got multiple bad guy bosses that, one rises up dead, another one takes their place dead, another one takes their place dead. Two bad guy bosses meet face to face. One of them dies. 5 minutes later, the other one dies. Now we have another one take their place again. It's just bad. All is well, Slick B Mexican. Is that your name? That's how it looks. Anyhow, let me see some of the comments here. You guys can hear me loud and clear. That's good. I'm getting a new microphone. I don't know what to do with this one. Maybe I'll put it to the side and try to figure it out. I bought this because I thought it would be slick, but I'm just not into it. It's an Elgato one, but there's that fucking echo. I tried to search through all my sound systems on the PC, and I cannot figure it out to save my life. Where that other, it sounds like you have two tracks open, and one is slightly behind the other, you know, and it is obnoxious. But I just can't figure out where it's coming from. Anyhow, Carol should have died at the end of the Whisperer arc. In my opinion, The Walking Dead is almost a dead franchise, so I think Carol should have died. You know, I don't have a say on when exactly, but yeah, she should just be dead. But I'm fine if they keep her alive and do something with her. But right now we're running on fumes. We're running on Carol and Daryl. They're only there as friends. Like, I don't know how much longer fans can find that interesting. Like, I know it's like, oh, we love this duo, but how much longer are we going to ride off the fumes of just being a duo? Like, that's all it is now. And we're barely getting story. Like, even when Daryl went through what he went through, and then when he met up with Carol, there was this kind of like, I gotta find Laurent, like blinders on, like immediately. It was weird. It was like, Carol, I cry a little bit. I gotta find Laurent. Speaking of The Last of Us again, you know, Ellie plays the guitar and Joel teaches him. Daryl just like finds a guitar, gives it to Laurent, and Laurent's like just playing it all of a sudden and says some guy, you know, back at camp taught him. one of the leaders back at camp taught him. And yet again, another thing where it's like, yo, they did it in The Last of Us, and I firmly believe that they jam it in here because the writers think it worked there, it's got to work here, and they need all the help they can get. I should pull up the one episode, though, because I just couldn't review it. I didn't have it in me. They were just terrible. But it was like two episodes ago. I mean, I could pull it up quick and take a peek, but it was just like a really dumb scene. So maybe I won't be able to even find it. Oh, that's another one. Last episode, Daryl turns a walker into a super walker, or two of them. And there's all these zombies. There's like 80 zombies around the car. They're stuck in the car. Daryl pops two of the zombies, and they go, and they're hiding inside the car. And all of a sudden, like, a couple zombies explode. Like, this zombie's head explodes, this head explodes, and, you know, blood hits the windshield. But it is filmed like, boom, pop, 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 pop. Like, their heads explode. And it's over in like 5 seconds. And that's all you heard. Pop, 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 you know? And then Daryl kills, I guess, one of the mutant zombies, the fast zombies, and looks around, and there's 80 dead zombies ripped apart all the way around the car. However, the sound made it seem like four of them exploded, and the sound design didn't fit 80 zombies getting torn apart in 5 seconds, because even in the behind the scenes they were like, yeah, Tasmanian devil type ripping up the zombies. The sound design did not fit, not even close. Didn't fit it. It sounded ridiculous. It looked ridiculous. Like, that shit. And again, it's a zombie show, so you got that suspension of disbelief. That's not even suspension of disbelief. That's just having fun with ridiculously fake shit, you know? However, it has nothing to do with realism. It's, imagine you see a character and you see someone slice at them, and when they cut to the zombie's face like gets shot, and you're jerked back a second in your head, and it takes you out of the moment, and you're like, wait, what? Hold on a second. You rewind it, and sure enough, they cut, but when it shows the zombie, it gets shot in the head. It just messes you up like that because it doesn't have that connection. And looking back now, Carol being in the firing squad, ducking down and surviving, getting up and running, and all the people right there 2 feet away. Carol, you know, getting up off the ground. They would have shot her before she got to her feet. You know, I don't know why they think we're dumb where we can't understand that. It's going to take you, you know, you could get up off the ground pretty quick, but you're not going to get up like the Flash. You're not instantly going to be up. How you got one older woman getting off the ground, face down. I think someone's even on top of her. She jumps up from on the ground. All the enemy has to do is look over and shoot. And she is up and runs and dodges it all, jumps in the car, drives away. Like, holy crap, that was terrible. So much of those moments with Carol getting to the area where Daryl's at, just bad. My personal opinion, the writing is horrendous. I think the writing is awful. We're gonna put. Oh man, I changed my background. I wanted to keep it in theme, but it doesn't matter. Fuck that. I was gonna put my old background back up. Oh fuck. Okay. Damn. Oh, I guess it must be one of these. Let me do this. Set as desktop background. Yeah, it must be one of those. God damn, she's gorgeous. All right. The actors are doing pretty good. I'm fine with the acting. As far as like boiling it down just to the acting, the writing is okay sometimes. I don't even think it's close to okay. Then it becomes total crap out of nowhere. I would say it's definitely crap. You could have little moments where it's like that's okay, like Daryl or Carol fighting with the Ash about lying, and for me none of that worked. I didn't care. Here's they're arguing. At this point, it's like it's I don't know. It's just falling flat, you know. And even the way they like Carol too, the way they I get what they're going for. She's like, you know, I lied to you, but don't take it out on them. I know how they mean it. They mean it to come out as in like, you know, I wronged you, but, you know, don't be mean to them or don't turn your back on them. They weren't involved in it, blah, 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 blah. But it comes off as really shitty. Imagine I do something to you that's really shitty, and then I want you to do a favor for one of my friends, and I'm like, I know I treated you like shit, but don't take it out on them. You know, it's a really dick thing to say. I get what they meant, though. But it didn't come off good. I heard when she said that, I was like, "What, you bitch?" You know. Anyhow, I stopped watching season 2 after the first episode. I could get that. I was done by like episode 3, I think. Whenever I stopped reviewing it, I couldn't handle it. Yes, I agree. Carol should have died on a cliff at the end of season 10. Her mother's story arc was complete. And you know what? I like that concept, but again, there's just something about how they film it nowadays. Carol at the end of the cliff with the whispers was really cringy, man. And again, I love the concept. That's fine. If she was walking them to the cliff, but what they forget is just adding a little nuance. Like she's walking them to the cliff. She's doing it risky, maybe because she is in a way. She has that self-delete in her mind, but she's not going through with it. So she tries to abort, but the herd is so thick. As she's trying to abort and like shift out of the way, the herd is pushing her forward. So now she's almost desperate at this point, and she gets to the edge and like she is trying to fight it, but the herd is pushing her forwards, and she's almost at the point where she's like, well, maybe I should just go back to my plan and self-delete. You know, maybe this is it. This is fate. Here I am. There's almost no way out. I should just accept my fate and go off the cliff. And then as she's gonna, then you can see. I want a little more nuance to it. Like how they did it on the show. They were just like, she's walking up, you know, oh, and all these zombies, it's almost like they barely affect her as they're, you know, walking by. This is a herd. This should be almost like a wall moving and pushing and ripping apart and destroying. Like what's in my opinion, what's fun about a horde of zombies, it's the level of destruction that is more interesting. Instead of being like, oh, there's a horde, people fight or they hide or they survive, and then after they don't even think about the aftermath. The aftermath of a horde should be horrifying. You should have like, you know, mashed up blood and guts everywhere. You should have scrapes of flesh like just all smeared along the wall. You should have parts of zombies hanging from stuff ripped up and shredded and really gross shit. You should have, wood broken into, maybe, brick walls falling down from pressure and all this other stuff. There's so much awesomeness that comes afterwards. But I feel like The Walking Dead, modern Walking Dead, doesn't follow through with anything that's awesome. Everything's surface level and superficial. Oh, let's do it. Daryl, loves a chick. She dies. Now he's sad. Oh, Carol's here. He's happy, sad. They hug. You know what I mean? Hey, thank you very much for the...
I really appreciate you giving it a chance and coming back to do a season review.
Do you really appreciate it? Do you really, or are you lying to me? Don't fucking lie to me. I really appreciate the $6. I'm going to go buy a beer with that later. The actors are doing pretty good. I already read that. The future potential for Daryl and the kid could have been interesting, leaving Paris religious stuff behind, but they killed that too. Yeah, it really feels like they wrapped up the Daryl stuff, which I don't know why they even needed to take all season. Wrap it up in an episode and move on to Carol and Daryl, in their journey. And it seems like that's what they're getting to with season 3. I just don't have I don't have any hopes for it. Some of it looks cool, but I'm tapped out at this point. I think I don't know. I'm just so tapped out, and I'm sick of saying I'm tapped out. I just don't got it in me. Budget cut writing, probably. It's comical that they always write out Daryl's girlfriends for Carol, isn't it? And they do. They do. Like every time Carol edges them out, they just die. How am I doing tonight? I'm all right. I wanted to do a stream. I can't do a long one because I got to work, but I do have good news. I don't know when I can squeeze it in, but I do have Silent Hill 2. Bam. And I was going to do a little bit of gaming. My daughter played it. She friggin' loved it. She only played about an hour or two. I did a little test run with it, and it looks and feels great. It doesn't have that, like, anything's crazy, modern, different. It's hard to explain. It feels like you're playing Silent Hill in the 90s, but it looks modern. It's comfortably modern as far as how it plays. Meaning it's smooth, it looks good, but it still has that like 90s edge to it, Anyway, or 90s grit. The post-soft reboot of writing for the actors and not the characters didn't help. No, that didn't help. Season 2 finale gave the characters within the story some resolution, but none for the viewer. I hear that. I watched the first 2 episodes, got too bored, and stopped watching. I came back to binge it, and it was very tolerable that way. I'm glad you were able to tolerate some of it. I was checked out of the majority of it. I'm confused on how Norman Reedus thinks that was the best hour of the whole franchise. Like, what the fuck? See, you got to understand, though, I learned this after a while. And, I might not even be right, but I would hear, and I got this from The Walking Dead, you would hear a lot of the actors be like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing we've ever done. We had so much fun. This was awesome. The visuals, the emotions, da-da-da-da. It's different for the actor for a number of reasons. They are, there's a spectrum of it, but they're in the creative process. Sometimes they could be deep in the emotional level, discussing what it's like, what the character's going through. So emotionally, they're getting all that. You watch the scene. For them, they're living, breathing it. They got ideas. They're kicking around ideas. But then they're also there with friends, people they're really close to. It's their job. They're making good money at it. They're going to fucking amazing. They're going to locations that normal people vacation at like once in a lifetime. That's where they work. You know what I'm saying? So for them, that's the overall experience. So their view of it is skewed. It's biased. It's not even close to reality. When you hear earlier seasons, that tends to be the more grounded. You know what I mean? Because they're a little more humble. This is new. They really want fans to like accept it, but they're not sure. But they also notice the quality and they're like, I think we have something special. We can see something special. Here it's you're taking a guy who, guy, girl, everyone who's on the set, between Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride, there's all these overwhelming positives, so it's easy for him to look at the zombies and be like, oh my God, we created these zombies that light up, which is awesome. The zombies looked visually awesome. I love that aspect. I don't care how they got to it. I don't care. It looked awesome. Give me more of that. Then they started doing like, oh, we're high. And they took an awesome visual of zombies that are lit up. And then they started warping the zombie faces, like with terrible effects. Like, that bulge effect where it like bulges out the image. I don't know why I did that. That is a really cheap generic effect that you can find in almost any software program, and they're throwing that in the finale after already creating practical, amazing looking zombies. They ruin them with filters, like little bubbly filters, and they're all high, and my fucking God, it almost ruined the scene for me. But so yeah, to Norman Reedus, he might see that as like the greatest episode ever, but he's so far detached from...
Hey Ron, thanks for your brutal honesty through the years with Walking Dead. What's the status of Doomsday Kingdom? Would love to see your finished work even if it's in written form.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to return back. I was thinking about messaging the artist this weekend. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. Excuse me. I do want to touch base with him about what we had discussed previously. And I need to touch base with him before I give you any definitive next step on that. I know I really wanted to shoot for the summertime, but I had hit a little bit of a snag on my actual real life job that delayed me a bit. But now that's over with, so I'm back to rocking and rolling with what I got to do. So, yeah, hang in there with me a little bit. But you're going to see a lot more content coming out finally. So, it won't be so long of a gap without me around to give you an idea of what's going on, But I really appreciate the $12. Any dollar helps. I throw it all to, whatchamacallit. Throw it all to... Actually, any new tips coming in now is going to a new microphone. Actually, I should try my old microphone and see if I get that same sound and figure out what's going on with it. But I put it towards equipment. Next, I'm going to be putting it towards editing, too, because that way I can really get some shit going. That's like months away, though, because I want to hire an editor, like a legit, Anyhow. Where were we at? So yeah, HFG, thank you very much for the 6, and Big D. I'm assuming that means dick, right? But Big D, thank you very much for the $12. No Way Out 2, so many Zeds and pushed them throughout the gate like cheese. I watched Fallout. I watched it, Fallout. Did I say that right? I liked it. Excited for the gaming stream, Ronnie. Looking forward to it. Yeah, it's not going to be much. Maybe like an hour here and, hour every couple days. But at least it'll be something where I'm hoping, every maybe 2, 3, 4 days or something, we can hang out for an hour or two. I'm hoping. And I'm debating whether or not it's going to be on the Ronnie Hayes channel or this channel. The only reason I say that is because YouTube gave me a notice saying that there hasn't been any content on the Ronnie Hayes channel, so they're going to shut that one down, which must be a new thing they're doing, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, my main focus is the Flaw vs. All channel. I just uploaded my most recent Friday the 13th, which anything from this point on that is posted on that channel is 100% never seen before, so that's exciting. Everything else was... previously edited. I made small tweaks on some of it, but a lot of it was already seen. Anyhow. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. Even though I didn't dig Daryl's show much at all, I feel like I still prefer it over The Ones Who Live. Ooh, shit, really. Going back and watching the early season of the show gives me such a whiplash. Like, how did the quality fall so far? When you're when you're, what's a good way to put it, man? It's in a big way. What's a clean way to put it overall? But when you're presenting something that you want to be accepted, and there's a lot on the line, and you have that, passion and the passion and effort you put into it, you want to give it your all. You want to make the best you can. You have the fans in mind at all times. Almost exclusively, your mind is on their mind, and you could tell between the behind the scenes and all that. You can almost exclusively tell that, and this is very prevalent in the behind the scenes. You can almost exclusively tell that their mind is on what could we give the audience that they're gonna love, that they're gonna devour, that's going to be amazing, going to blow their mind, that's going to be fun, exciting, that's going to be a twist. You can see it there. And I know they might talk about very similar things between the old and the new, but with the new, you could very, very, very much see it's no longer about that in a large part. Some of it is for sure. Yeah, we're doing this for the fans, but you could definitely see, like, I want to film in France because fuck it, like, fuck the fans, fuck the story, fuck the logics. I want to film in France because, I'm Norman Reedus, I'm Daryl Dixon. We're going to film there. Sorry, but that's just how it is. And then even when it comes to the cool walkers or cool this, it's, like we want to do something different. We want to do this, that, and the third. It just doesn't have that same focus, Now, some of it spills into, oh, that's cool. We get to see, zombies lit up. So that overlaps in a way. But if you watch it and how they talk, you'll hear things they'll constantly repeat, this is for the fans. I hope the fans like it. But there's definitely that subtlety where a lot of the passion is missing and the focus is missing terribly. And I feel like right now they almost feel like, it's The Walking Dead. It's huge. Whatever we do is going to be great. Let's try to give them something good, but whatever we do is going to be on point anyhow. I'm glad the Flaw and All are still coming out, bro. Yeah, I love them. I really am excited. I'm kind of like, more and more, I'm kind of grinding in my head. I want to go faster. I want to be able to put them out quicker, put them out faster. The only way it's going to work, is hiring an editor. So that's where, like, me personally, once I get through the holidays, I want to make that almost a top priority. Bringing someone aboard, it's going to be a process, but I'm excited because once an editor shows up, it's going to take a little bit to work with them. But once we get through that, we're going to be we're going to rock and roll. So I'm excited for that. I just need to find, the right fit. So even though I didn't, already. Have you checked out Terminator Zero? No, I haven't. I heard good things about it, but I'm not big on anime or cartoon. Anything that's like animated like that. Going back and watching it earlier. Ronnie's vote gonna decide the election tomorrow. Yeah, my sole vote in one state is gonna decide it all. I did my early voting, got it out the way though. Fuck that, I'm not. I feel bad for anyone who's got to go tomorrow. Like, you got to do what you got to do, but it might suck. For some people, your area is not going to be bad. So, like, I got lucky. I went on Saturday right after work. I was in and out. Boom, Didn't even wait in line, Anyhow, I hope that Cadrone shows up again. I started liking him, and I like when Daryl finally revealed. And these are small things that they could have made bigger. Like, and that's what I mean. That's such a cool aspect of him finally revealing, like, bro, I didn't even kill your brother, And they did it in such a meek way where it felt like, okay, you know what, guys? Hold on. Let's wrap this Cadrone thing on because, he's going to run away high as shit and never be seen again. So let's throw around a bonfire and throw it in. He just says, oh, I didn't. It feels like that's how the writing was, like an afterthought. That should have been like a big... Remember back in, the old Walking Dead where a character revealed something or said something, the impact, like, you were glued to the screen. Like, what they were about to say was going to have ramifications. That was going to hit either emotionally or physically, or it's going to reverberate through, repercussions throughout the other characters. You have none of that now. When the characters sit and talk now, back then you were glued to the screen. What are they going to say? What's going to happen because of it? Now, when they sit down to talk, you're kind of zoning out. Like, okay. Get to the next thing. Because that's how it's written. It's written to just, when they stop. But I liked what they did with him, the character. And then then he got high and stabbed Daryl, and it's like, come on, you just went backwards. Now I think it's dumb. And then he ran away. And he already knows his brother's dead. I know he's hallucinating, but come on. They all hallucinated dead family members, or dead loved ones. And Daryl's going to hallucinate some random bimbo he just started smashing a week ago. He met 6 months ago, and not his brother or not others that were, more important to him. Get the fuck out of here. This ending's so dumb. Gimple stopped making an adaptation and turned it into his personal fan fiction. Started when he killed Carl. Honestly, I wish the main show would have went with 8 to 10 episodes of quality back instead. I feel like there could have been less fluff and less character building crap. We didn't really care. And I will disagree with that. I do understand trim it down, and I agree with it. I think they should have trimmed it down. I personally think 13 is the sweet spot for The Walking Dead. Episode-wise, cut 3 episodes down, and you're doing real good. But I understand, but the reason I disagree is because you think they would cut out the fluff. But that's not what they would do. They would spill the fluff over to the next season. Like the garbage people. Some of this shit didn't even need to be in there. Some of the fluff didn't even need to be in there. They did it because they wanted to do it. And I feel like even if you cut 3-4 episodes per season, that same shit would be in there. It would just spill over into the next season. Just because that's how they were writing it. You didn't need any of that shit. You could have had a more fleshed out and detailed look on Negan and the Saviors and the other communities and everything going on. But instead they gave us, the garbage people who talked funny. Me, you dick, take, put mouth. I forget how they talked in the beginning. Remember how they talked in the beginning was really dumb, and then it was just a gag. They just randomly did it. What the fuck stupid shit is this? I watched the old episodes and it really felt like the whole cast was included per episode instead of just 2 characters. Only dialogue was going on. Hard to explain. I know what you mean already. No, the Ronnie Hayes channel has so many good live stream VODs to get deleted. Well, no, they won't. I'm sorry. They won't delete the whole channel. What they do is they take it out of the partner program. So they demonetize it. And then it's just, you could keep watching everything, but you can't monetize it anymore. Damon Longstreet said flaw in all Romulus. I tell you what, I do want to flaw in all Romulus, but I don't think I would do it before Alien. And maybe I should knock it off, because in my head I'm thinking, if I'm going to do Romulus, I got to start at Alien and work my way to Romulus. But maybe I got to stop. Maybe I got to just do what's popular. And when I build more of a following on that channel, then I can do the rest of the movies in the franchise. You know what I'm saying? Because I will tell you one thing I did buy that I really do want to do a flaw versus all on. And I just, I hope I had the tab open. Yes, I do. And I just bought it for Black Friday sale. It comes out in a couple weeks. When does it come out? December something? December 3rd? I don't know. But it's Congo on 4K. Does anyone remember this movie, Congo, where they're looking for the diamond mine and they got the gray gorillas? I love that movie. It's campy. I went and seen it at a drive-in. If I remember right, it was a drive-in. I think I confused going to see Jurassic Park and Congo at the same time, but I think we saw them at different times. But I watched Congo in the drive-in, and I loved it, as a kid. So I love Congo, and the Blu-ray is out of print and crazy pricey. So I saw they just made it on 4K, and I don't even know what it comes with. A little booklet, a case, I don't know. But I said, fuck it, I instantly bought it. and I want to Flaw vs. All review Congo as a little, just a little project of mine. But anyhow, there's a lot I wanted to knock out. But even like The Thing, I want to wait until we have an editor and we're rocking and rolling. I really want that to be a home run, but we'll see. Predator 1987, I really want that to be a home run too. But again, I need to just get it done. So we'll see. Miss when all the characters were all together, all these spin-offs splitting the characters 6 different ways is pissing me off. Yo, you know what? You reminded me. Remember when he met Carol? This shit is outrageous. Whoever did this should be fired. Remember he met Carol and he goes, "Oh, by the way, who came back?" And Carol's like, "Oh, nothing." Like, "Oh, it was my bad attitude came back," Like, wait, hold on, what did she say? It was dumb as shit. It was like her bad thoughts or something came back. Bro, if that didn't show that these people don't give a fuck about the fan base, they are using you for all you're worth. Everyone who is still attached to the Daryl and Carol show, characters, The Walking Dead. Greg Nicotero might love you, the guy who does the special effects, and Norman Reedus might love you still as fans. Melissa McBride might still love you as fans. The powers to be, the creative team, the writers, they don't give a fuck about you. At this point, they're here only for the resume. They're here only for the paycheck, only for the job, and they actively dislike you. How do we know this? Because they set up something as a gift to you, as a reveal, something cool, something exciting. It was a promise of something interesting to come. And when the time came, they asked you to show up and watch. When you showed up to watch, the characters literally said it was nothing. Fuck off. Like, that is one clear example that they don't give a shit. They're probably laughing at it in the writer's room. All we got to do is say like, "Oh, he came back," and these idiots are gonna make YouTube videos. These idiots are gonna talk about this for months. I guarantee they were laughing at you. They made fun of you. You're nothing but some schmuck who keeps coming back watching their garbage. They're shitty writers. They don't even deserve to be in the writer's room. And the Daryl show is embarrassing. I mean, I wish Norman Reedus would. Fuck, man. I've loved Norman Reedus since Boondock Saints. Before most of you motherfuckers even knew who he was. But he needs to get his head out of his ass and realize this writing sucks, dick. You love your character, get your head out of your ass and look at the writing. It is terrible. It is bad. Like, fuck. The only reason your show has any standing is because the fans really loved Daryl Dixon, the character. But that will wear thin. Maybe a season or 2 more. It will not continue to last unless you fire those shitty writers and get some real talent in there. Because your show sucks. Next. The Condrone's good. Is that his name? Condrone? Codron. That's his new name. Good guy turn was terribly executed, but besides, in the beginning, I agree with you. Like, I like the dichotomy of it later, but in the beginning, I kept saying, why the fuck is he all of a sudden, And when he explained it later, I really wish they would have done something better with that. Basically, he was like, "Bro, I realized like I'm a terrible person, and it's all because of my bad decisions." I'm behind that concept, but the way they executed it was horrible. He went from being a bad guy to suddenly being a good guy. And then later he explains it, but it doesn't even match how he fucking acted. It's bad. But where they got to, I would have been fine with it had they done something more interesting for his, turn, Yeah, Amy mad, Amy sad. When I was little, I had the little gorillas. They're only like these little whatever thing. And when we moved to North Carolina, we had a box of like old stuff from the house I grew up in. And in the corner of the box is the little Amy gorilla. It's like this big with her sign language backpack, I actually threw it somewhere. I don't know, on the shelf somewhere. But yeah, I friggin' loved Congo when it came out. I actually stole that movie from Kmart because I was like, bro, I really want to watch this movie again, when it came out on VHS. And, back then was different, yo. You didn't just stream shit. Like, if it came out and you didn't buy it and they didn't air it on USA or, some network or something, which wasn't often, man, it was so rare for them to show different movies, but you're not watching it, you know what I mean? So I was like, bro, I just snatched that shit, and I didn't get caught, and I loved it. So I must have watched it a dozen times. Loved Congo, Homolka, yeah. Stop eating my sesame cake. Yeah, that shit is great. Pretty good aim with the flare gun. The Walking Dead was a solid for setting up the next arc, but the arc itself usually was lackluster and went too long. I can hear that. Ronnie, have you seen From? No, I hear good things about it, but reminds me of Lost and early Walking Dead. I hear good things about it. I haven't checked it out yet, though. I zoned out for the rest of the episode after Carol said that. Bro, you're probably zoning like, what the fuck? I was just expecting some reveal where it was like, oh shit, that's cool, but not Rick. Again, we already talked about how the way she said it was not. It wouldn't make sense. But for it to be nothing, for it to be her bad vibes, her bad attitude, like, what the writers really don't get. The writers, they don't give a shit, bro. Like I would say, I would never in a million years write something like that for a fan, because there's no way they're not self-aware. Oh, we're gonna write this big moment and then later just say it's nothing. There's no way they're not self-aware to know that's a big fuck you to the fan base. The reveal was an absolute joke. Laugh out loud. A complete slap in the face. I was livid, bro. I actually laughed out loud. I actually laughed. Just burst out laughing. One of those like uncontrollable wheezing, and I think it was the audacity of them to hype that shit up and then be like, yeah, it's nothing, Oh man. The body cam game added a zombie mode. Should check out the gameplay on YouTube. I'll check it out. Takes a lot of money to run these YouTube channels. We lose $120 a month to run our channel. So I understand about the upgrades. What kind of mic do you use? I use Fifine. It works pretty well. Well, I got this Elgato one. I grabbed it and I thought it would work out well. And I like the concept. You can, mute it, whatever, blah blah blah. But I don't like it. It's, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot to like about it, but I prefer two things. One, the button control is done digitally, and I like it to be hands-on. I like to be able to, change the gain and change controls, physically. The other thing is that sound that it has, and I cannot figure out where that sound's coming from, and it's only the mic. So, but the design is like, yeah, it's all right. And anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna find something better. Did you catch Godzilla -1 yet? Oh, I loved it. I did see that. Pay me under the table and I'll edit those videos for you. Well, I guess nowadays it probably can't even pay somebody online and pay them under the table. You know what I mean? Because you're already leaving a paper trail. I don't think that will work, but sure. In the episode when Janae died, she was missing her left leg. I don't remember them talking about it. She was missing her left leg? From what? What up, South of Heaven? Thank you very much. I'm glad you could stop by. I don't know if I already asked, but how was your Halloween? Our Halloween was great. We had a good time. We gave out candy, and my daughter's old enough where she went out with some friends, but she kept circling back around, checking in, you know. And I got a GPS. I put a GPS tracker in her Halloween costume, you know. So, Slizzle with a $5 super chat.
Daryl and Carol are so superhuman now. There's zero suspense when they're in danger.
Yep, Daryl got stabbed. Why? You know, first off, he got stabbed and it doesn't matter. And I'm so tired of Daryl getting stabbed, shot, mutilated, raped, and nothing matters. You know, nothing matters at all. Like, he takes it up the ass and he doesn't even flinch. And it's so unrealistic. I check out, you know? Check me right the fuck out. Same thing with Carol. Carol's older now. She's up there in age. Like, let me pick on someone else for a change. And that's not in her. Like, she still seems great. She looks like she's in good shape. You know, she's still fantastic. But listen, I'm getting up there in age my damn self, you know? I was working the other day going up and down flights of stairs, and I was thinking, like, damn, this is, you know, I'm in trouble. Tomorrow my thighs are going to be sore. Like, you don't just jump up and run around and you're being superhuman. You're not this super badass. It looks ridiculous. We can pretend because in Hollywood all women are badasses now, but it looks fucking silly. Like when this big army, you know, is following this short, overweight chick who, when they got into a firefight, she like waddles away behind a door real quick. It's like, get the fuck out of here. They're not following her. And then they showed multiple leaders. Was it this or something else? And, you know, and Hollywood's doing it on purpose because of their, you know, inclusion bullshit. And it looks ridiculous. Like, if you're in a post-apocalyptic landscape, and I mean, if it is absolute tribal hell, the majority of the women are not going to be leaders. They're not. They're going to be beaten, drug off to the side. You'll never see them again. They'll be outmatched. You know, that's just how it is. When you take the luxury of technology away from humans, we're animals. You know, put us out in the wild, and it is a lot of men. They're not even going to survive because the strongest, you know, the smartest, the fittest, they're just going to, you know, take that ass, you know, on any and everybody that is weaker than them. And that's just how it's going to be, you know? And you get this 4 foot tall Oompa Loompa who's now the boss. Like, and it's so fucked up because she's following her leader, and then her leader goes to fight some religious group. Her leader dies, and then she's like, who's going to lead us now? Let's install our religious enemy's leader and just suddenly follow them. Holy shit, who's writing this nonsense? I love the Elgato brand products. I have a Stream Deck and a VCR transfer wire from them. I like Elgato as well, but I just can't get over what's going on with this microphone. Like, it's terrible. It's so echoey, you know? Maybe I'll figure it out, but I don't know. How do you like your new PC and a nice strong build? My PC's badass. I love my PC. I love the look of it especially. It's got a weird look. It's, for anyone who doesn't know, it's that height. Is it height? Height Y70 case? Or Y60? No, it's the Y70 without the touch screen because I didn't want the touch screen on I wanted it all clear. And I love it, you know? How are they so generous with Ash's F-bombs? And we got what we did with Negan. Yeah, way to take forever getting to drop F-bombs and that bullshit. Yeah, I'm not. I actually, South of Heaven, I actually picked Intel on purpose. I know, if I remember right, there's something with compatibility future proofing. I think that is where the problems lie. But for me, that's not a problem because I'm not future proofing. I'm not future proofing. I'm not upgrading this in 6 months. You know, everything else on it can handle the quality that that I'm trying to do with editing, with the screen I got, the editing I got. And I picked Intel because I believe the Ryzen is better for gaming and Intel is better for video editing. So I'm fine with Intel. I purposefully chose that over, was it Ryzen? Ryzen, whatever the fuck. I absorb the information for picking out the computer I want, but then once I buy the computer and I no longer need that information, it's gone. It's right out of my head. I only remember little bits of it. I'm so out of touch. When did Daryl take it in the ass? He always takes it in the ass, Bioluminescence walkers have been my favorite scene out of the episode. I love the scene. I just don't care for much else connected to it. I don't like the warped filters and all that other crap they did. Only thing I like about the show is Cadrone. I immediately came to see a reaction to Carol surviving that line of fire. I've missed you these past few weeks. Yeah, bro, I actually shut it off when she survived. I shut it off and I went and did something else, and I think I came back like 3 days later. And I think that's the episode I stopped reviewing it on live streams, and it's because I shut the episode off. It was like during the day on Sunday, and I'm watching it, and that happens, and I just shut it off. I checked right out, and then I ended up watching it a few days later, and obviously I couldn't stream. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, there's a couple good cases for PCs out there that look cool. What is it? I honestly think the writers are running a social experiment to see how much shit they can get away with at this point. It's got to be something. I'm thinking. I bet it's writers that they're just doing it for a resume, and it doesn't matter whether the show succeeds. You know, what's a good way to put it? Like it's almost like the show has a certain level of success, and for them it doesn't matter if it triples in viewership or drops a little. Like for them, they get paid the same. Their future's the same as far as their career. That's how it feels. Because if you had a crew in there, a creative crew, and it really felt like they were gonna bring some heat, you would notice, and you just don't get that. It just feels like stale. Here's some workers in there. They're just doing something, and then they're moving on to the next thing. I hope season 3 marks the end of the show. Yeah, fucking end it all. It should be higher than a 6-episode count. Yeah, World Beyond had the same thing. Short, fat, waddling away. Yeah, there was another movie I just watched too, where it was post-apocalyptic, and the leaders were all females. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, damn well you can have some badass bitch be the leader in an apocalypse, sure, but some of these women they pick are not, they're not, they're not leading. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't have it. They're not strong enough. It's just, I don't know. They just don't have it. But whatever. Nowadays, it doesn't even matter. Our entertainment sucks nowadays. My co-host this channel where talks about budget podcast products. That's what's up. Yeah, if any ideas about the feedback I'm getting. Now, keep in mind, I did check every single internal, what's a good way to put it? All the internal settings as far as picking up sound sources and whatnot. I've tested them all. I've muted them, shut them down, blah, blah, blah. Nothing changes. It always has that echo. It's like there's 2 tracks open. But anyway, can't wait till they get back to America. Between the volume being so low and accents, I have a hard time following. And that's another thing. How come every time they run into a couple of survivors, like a couple that are survivors, the old people, the young Irish, they always get betrayed? At what point will Daryl just smarten the fuck up and be like, Nope, we're not going around new people. Every fucking time they get someone new, and you're just waiting for it. You're waiting for the betrayal. Now, at least with the older people, they had one. It was a very quick, temporary, like, oh, we betrayed them. But they didn't even need that. Just have the people notice something and come back. You don't need the old couple to do no, like, I gotta do what's for, I'm doing this for her. You don't need that dumb shit. At least find somebody that's just decent, that's chilling, you know? And same thing for the Irish people. When you know they're gonna turn on them, you're just waiting for it, and then boom, they turn on them. It's terrible. Yeah, Hamoud, I don't know how you say that. Hamoud. I agree with that 100%. You study for the test and then you forget everything after. The substance is bonkers if you get a chance. I heard about that. I do want to see that. So I'm going to try to find time to watch that. And a friend of mine recommended Stranger Darling or Darling Stranger, something like that. I want to get a chance to watch that as well. Are you still picking up The Walking Dead Deluxe? No, I'm not. I haven't bought it in years. I was excited to see the covers for issue 100 until I saw them. They kind of suck. Um, I had a problem with. This was during COVID. Actually, I stopped. I had a bunch of problems happen all at once. COVID messed up, and then I got COVID, and I couldn't go. I already didn't go for like 2 weeks, and then I got COVID, and like I didn't go for another 2 weeks, and then there was some miscommunication where they had pulled extra that I didn't want for my pool, and my pool list, which was, I wanted one of each of. Well, I wanted to pick the Walking Dead covers that I liked, and they ended up pulling everything that was Walking Dead related, and I ended up canceling like a good chunk of my pull list. But I guess that cancel paper that I submitted didn't. It must have got lost because they still kept everything, and since I was out for like 2 months, they had this whole stack. And then I was gonna get around to squaring away my pull list, but then they sold the place, and it became a mess. I feel real bad about that getting all messed up, but I did want my pull list. I never ended up going up and getting it, which kind of sucks, because I wanted to collect a lot of those. I wanted at least a complete run of the colored, and but what turned me off was the shitty artists that they have coming in. If I can show you, I wonder what. I remember I was like, yeah, give me one of each. And when I saw the artwork, I almost fucking lost it. It is awful. It is fucking trash. The Walking Dead Deluxe 17. I want to know what one it was. It's not 17. That actually looks pretty cool. It's 13. Damn. You know what? I didn't collect a lot of them at all. I must have stopped like early. I don't know. They had one for, and they filled it up with some just terrible covers. I didn't know I only made it like a couple issues in. That sucks, yo. You know what? Maybe one day I can collect them. Here's another problem with the comics. I don't know how people collect comics. Like, I only used to read them, comic books, and then be done with them. But then I started, that cover's cool. But then I started collecting the Walking Dead comics. Now, I didn't collect any other comics. I just read them and threw them out, or gave them away, returned them, whatever. Some of these are fucking awesome, bro. But I don't know what people do with all their comics. They are heavy. They take up space. Like, what do you people do with these things? Yeah, I don't know what. I don't remember. That's a cool cover. Some of these are cool covers, man. I really wish I stuck with it. Some of these are really cool. I might go back to stop by a comic shop and grab a couple. But at this point, maybe not. Maybe I'll just grab some posters and call it a day. I don't fucking know. I have an idea. Oh, here's one. Here's a fucking great one. So I go to pick up my Walking Dead comics, and I find this bullshit in my pull list. This absolute trash of a comic. I paid $4 for it. Absolute trash. Now keep in mind, I grab my stack, I pay, I get out to the car, I'm driving home, and I'm looking through the covers, and then boom, I find this, and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. And what they would do is they would make multiple covers for that month. So you're already buying the issue that you've already bought before, but I was just buying them at the time to, help out, plus do a little collection. But they started, instead of making 1 or 2 covers, they started greedily making like 9, 10, 11 covers of the same fucking comic. And some of the covers would be like, I want that. But then you get this shit. How do you even hand this in like it's art? This is terrible. And that's not even the only one, too. There's more. Here's one that's actually cool. That's a cool one. Here's another cool one. I think I want this one, though. I like that a lot. Andrea blasting a walker's head, 86. I like that. Here's another one I like. This isn't the greatest art, but I just noticed that one. I like that one. There's a few more like that. What's this one? Yeah, like that's terrible. Like, look at this artwork. Hold on. I think I have this comic too. Like, this was in my pull box. Like this. You go from The Walking Dead to that shit. That's what they're trying to sell you. Fucking awful, dude. Awful. I wouldn't pay 50 cents for that cover. They're trying to sell for $4. They're fucking nuts. Anyway, it's late. I gotta get going. Let me touch up the last few comments here. Yeah, they're still doing Walking Dead spin-offs. Can't wait till they get back to America between the volume. Okay, I already did that. Your comment about post-apocalyptic female leaders reminds me of the drama That Old Lady in Dead City. That drama Old Lady in Dead City. In the real world, Negan would immediately break her in half. He ain't bowing down to her. Yeah, they're always doing this shit now. You got to have the female leader, and a lot of times it's not realistic. It doesn't make sense. It's not even interesting. Yeah, I do the same thing with my PCs. I build them for a 5-year cycle. If possible, I leave room for upgrades. You don't need something brand new every 2 years. No, I definitely don't. You love meaty women? You're a little late. AMD used for 20 hours to give up on it. I hear you. With it being lackluster, would you say episode 1 of The Ones Who Live was the best for you? Probably my favorite out of 6 episodes. Here's my problem. All in all, everything from The Last of Us or The Walking Dead over the last few years, all the spin-offs, in my opinion, they're just mediocre. I don't think there's anything that's like, wow, fuck, that's awesome. I'm a level with you. I think they're all... there's ones I like, don't get me wrong, but even then, they don't rise to the level of being like, whoa. Is the speaker on your screen turned off? I really think it's something simple like that. I went through all of them. I went through all of them in the OBS app. I went through all of them in my computer settings themselves. Trust me, I scoured all of them. I watched the finale and smoked a joint. It was meh. I enjoyed it, but probably just was the joint would have enjoyed staring at the wall just as much. Yeah. Substance is honestly the best horror movie I've seen this year. That's what's up. Substance, Late Night with the Devil, I saw that. And Smile 2, really. I thought Smile was fucking awful. I'm going to be real with you. So, I don't know about Smile 2. I'm going to try it, but I don't know. Still need to see Cuckoo. I want to check that out. Oh, you know what was good? Dude, I did watch something that was real good. It's called Oddity. And I think it's on AMC Plus. I actually really enjoyed that one, you know? I didn't think I was gonna, but I really enjoyed it. These streams were cozy. I'm glad you think so. We better get some JDMF bombs. You could tell the Ash character doesn't cuss naturally. Yeah. Thought Factory. A long-time viewer, moderator. Oh, what up, yo? You changing up on me? Negan. What the fuck? Season 11. Cadron was just a meat sack to give beat downs and take beat downs. Its only purpose. Yeah, and another thing. He's looking, he's tortured for information about an American, and then in the enemy lair, an American comes up to him, and the American is like, I'm looking for an American. Daryl, do you know where he is? And he just spills the beans. What the fuck, man? Wouldn't your first thought be, oh, after torturing me, they found an American and they were like, grab them, bring them in, and have the American talk to me as a spy? Like, how would you even, it's just dumb. It is dumb. Everything is convenient. She goes to look for him in France and she just finds him relatively with ease. Like, super easy. The first place she looked brought her to him, Terror, just a convenient, messy. The show sucked. I miss those monthly Walking Dead runs, truly. Yeah, I miss picking them up and whatever, but yeah. I need to see Smile 2. It looks so bad from the trailers, but apparently it's really good. I hope so. Oddity is the other one I forgot about. Yeah, Oddity is good. I like that one. Sorry about the long comments. Just had a really bad day. Well, I hope your day goes better. Don't worry about it, South of Heaven. I ain't mad at you. Sometimes with the longer ones, I might read it and I might not, I might not know if you're just giving me, a statement for me to like, oh, okay. Or you're asking me, to carry on a back and forth. Sometimes it doesn't, because I go fast with it. When the terrible cover with Glenn and Maggie showed up in my pull list, because I said to order me one of each cover, I said, take that shit back. I felt bad about it. I only wanted the Finch covers. Yeah, you know what? They should know that's coming, though, because those are garbage. You don't put out... You just don't put that shit out and not be aware fans are not going to want this shit. Most of them do not want that shit. It's trash. It is terrible art. Why would you want that? Anyhow, I'm going to roll out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I got to take a shower and go to bed for work tomorrow. But I'll see you guys here. I don't know. I want to change it up. I think we are officially, it's been a long time coming. Obviously, I've been hit or miss with the Last of Us stream, or the Walking Dead. Why am I saying The Last of Us? But I think we are officially done. I'm positive at this point we are officially done with doing Walking Dead streams. Now, that doesn't mean we won't talk about The Walking Dead in a stream. I think what I would prefer to do is do a once a week podcast, but stay focused on what are we watching? Like what's going on? Either that or entertainment, but keep it related. It doesn't have to be big, but we'll just come back and, talk about whatever's relevant. Like Oddity, I would have loved to talk about that a little bit. So, throughout the week, maybe, like, for example, I would have seen Oddity and I would have watched, what else was that other one I watched? Azrael, I think Azrael, whatever that's called. I seen that one. So I probably would have talked about those two as like the main theme, but spill into more stuff. I think that's what we're going to change it to. So keep an eye out for that coming up. You guys be safe. Take care. And I appreciate the support. And don't forget to check out my Flaw vs. All review channel and give that as much support as you can, because it's going to be my main focus and passion project moving forward for the highly edited content. So have a good night. I'm out of here. Last thing before I leave, though, no, I did not see this Salem's Lot remake, but I did watch a little bit in a trailer, and it looked fucking awful. Did you guys see it? I probably would rather just pulling hair from my nuts, but we'll see. You guys let me know. Bye.